It has stopped?
Well, now we can hear you. You muted or something.
Oh, okay. How do I turn off my call manager that's popped up, Dean? Dean?
Call manager?
Yeah, there's a screen that's now superimposing everything that says call manager. There, it's gone now.
Oh, that's just warning you that I started the recording.
Okay, so just so you know, when it does that, Dean, there's an audio recording of some kind that comes up and tells me you're joining, and click this for that and click this for the other thing.
I think it says that this session is being recorded.
Yeah, something. Well, it said a bunch of other stuff. It gave me a bunch of options, too. But just so you know that happens, so you can warn the next person if you've not done that yet.
All right, yeah.
All right. Okay, so back to my Florence and Cottage Grove students. I ask that you keep the mics on.
I can't hear you. You muted yourself again. Should we call her?
Alicia, we lost you again.
It says that she's on, not muted.
Dean, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
It just did it again. And it pulled up this thing called a user menu. And it was asking us if we wanted to change the volume of our line, and it shuts off and takes over. I didn't push a button. I didn't do anything. I was talking to the students, and then this thing just came up asking me if I wanted to, it's called a user menu, wanting to know if I wanted to join and then to adjust my volume, to become the moderator. It went through like a series of things that I could select on my phone if I had a number pad.
Okay, well that's news to me. I'm not quite sure why it's doing that, but I think you do need to be the moderator.
Well, how do I pick the numbers on my remote control then?
How did you start talking to me? Did you have to unmute your microphone again?
I didn't. I touched it to see that the green light was flashing, but I didn't push a button or anything.
Okay. Well, it seems to be on now, and I don't know. I have not actually interacted with that, so I just don't know what to do.
Okay.
It didn't seem to happen yesterday. Maybe because I didn't build you until last. Maybe I need to always connect you first and then add the other 2 units.
Oh.
I'm not sure. This is brand new stuff. You're like class number 3.
Okay. Well, we'll bump and grind along. How's that sound?
All right. Yeah. This time, folks, if she gets mute, then just say something, and then everybody mute your microphones, and then we'll wait and see if she comes back.
Everybody got that? Florence and Cottage Grove? Nodding heads? Understanding faces? Okay. For lack of body acknowledgement with your bobbing heads, I'm going to assume you heard his instructions to mute if it happens again and wait for me to come back on. All right. So typically I will ask in Florence and Cottage Grove that you leave your mics on so that if you do want to interact with us, all you have to do is speak and or raise your hand, and you should be able to get my attention. The problem with that is every time you tear open a bag of Doritos, you slurp from a cup, you drop a textbook, it sounds like nuclear holocaust in here. So I ask that you guys, when Florence and Cottage Grove, when you guys come to class, tear open your Mylar bags before we start lecturing, have all your stuff kind of out where there's minimal shuffling to get to your things, and that'll help us on this end. The same thing goes for you guys here. Every time you open a snack bag or eat something crunchy, you need to be very sensitive that we are sharing this class space electronically with another group of people. The other thing is I will probably look a little psychotic as I repeat most of what you say. I'm the only one with a mic. Now, there are some mics in the ceilings. You can see the little black tiles up here. those do transmit sound, but we've had mixed reactions from the folks in Florence and Cottage Grove as to what they can hear. And so I've kind of gotten into the habit, or I try to be in the habit, of sort of paraphrasing or repeating back what you say. I am not a lunatic. I'm trying to help your classmates have as good as experience as you guys are having. And then it also proves to you, if you say something to me, that I actually heard what you said. So I guess it serves everybody in the long run. I'm going to do things, I've changed things up this term, so I'm going to do things a little differently. I'm going to cover things sort of in a, it might seem out of order, and then again, it might not. I'm going to start by talking about the syllabus, and then I'll take attendance later when I show you how to get into Moodle. There's no point in navigating through Moodle and all until we understand the course. So, all right. This is Intro to Health Records. It runs every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10:50. There are going to be rare occasions, I can think of one, maybe two, where we might run a minute long, but most of the time I'm very respectful of your time, and you guys should be able to get out of here on time and even on occasion a few minutes early. We'll always meet here in Building 4, Room 105, or with our classmates who are in Florence and Cottage Grove. Office hours are every Tuesday from 11 to 1. And every Thursday from 12:30 to 1:30. Now, I don't say, IHR, you get 1 hour, AMOP gets 1 hour. I just leave the whole span open because it's just too limiting for you guys. You are always welcome to make appointments with me during those office hours, because if I have somebody just walk in and you have an appointment, when you get there for your appointment, I'm going to boot the person who walked in and take you as an appointment. So if you need to work around schedules, kids, family, bus routes, things like that, don't hesitate to make appointments for your during those office hour times. If the office hours don't work for you because of kids' school, work, bus routes, what have you, then I have Skype, and we can have conversations, say, on Thursday night. You know, if you need some time, and we can have a face-to-face conversation. I do not do telephone calls, but I do Skype. If you want to get a hold of me, always email me at langloisa@lanecc.edu or use the Moodle messaging. I like that paper trail, and I actually don't have a phone at my desk, and so I don't take calls in my office. If you want me, email me or come see me during office hours. My office hours are held in my office, obviously, up on the main floor, or the floor above us. If you go in through the health professions office, when you walk in the door there is a straight shot hallway. They ask you to check in first, but if you know where you're going, it's straight to the end, hang a left, and it's your very first left. I've got the corner office, and I have bamboo privacy plastic on my windows. So you can see physically if I'm sitting in there, but you can't see if I'm pulling up my pantyhose or combing my hair or napping. You just can see that there's a blob behind the privacy glass. So that gives you guys privacy, too, when you come in. If you have something that sensitive that you need to talk about, you're able to see that people are in there, but not see the nature of what's going on necessarily. Per Lane policy, the next section of the syllabus is the Americans with Disabilities Act. If you guys have any needs, psychological, physical, emotional, access needs, the folks at Disability Resources are there to help you out. And so I've included that paragraph. For those of you who have letters of accommodation, I'm hoping that you can get me those copies within the next 24 to 48 hours so that I can make sure that I address everything that you need. I'm a terrible speller myself, so I have to have things edited and checked for myself. But I do want you guys to take advantage of Tutor Central. These are college-level classes. I expect tolerable penmanship, not excellent, but tolerable penmanship, good spelling, grammar, and so on. if for any reason, this is the first term, and I think some of you are new to campus, does everybody have their cell phone with them? I'd like for you all to pull out your cell phones, if you would, and program the safety number into your phone. The nice thing about that is we sit between Springfield Fire, Eugene Fire, and Cottage Grove or Crestwell Fire. We sit between 3 fire districts, and so if you dial 911, you're never sure who you're going to get. If you dial this 463-5555, that gives campus safety. First responders from campus safety come to you, as well as immediately dial the appropriate 911 to service you. So that's a really good number to have in your phone. Then for things like somebody slashed my tires, I've locked my keys in my car, I'd like an escort at nighttime to walk out to my car, because some of you will be here on campus late, then that's the non-emergent number at 463-5558. So both of those are really good numbers to have. There are no prerequisites for this course. And basically what we're going to do is sort of twofold here. We're going to give you an introduction to health records, and we're going to talk about managing those records, what's involved in those records, working with those records, and then the other component to this course, about 50%, is developing yourself a professional resume portfolio. That's going to include a brand spanking new resume for all of you. It's going to include a cover letter. We're going to give you a practice at writing a thank you letter so you follow some great etiquette and increase your odds of getting hired, as well as making sure that you have at least 2 letters of recommendation, fresh letters of recommendation, in that file. So no matter where you are, like Rose is getting near the end of school and graduating, and I would assume most of you are just starting your programs, you will have brand new resumes. So whenever you're ready to start looking for a job in healthcare, you will have a healthcare-oriented resume. Even if you worked at Country Coach or worked at Hyundai or some other place that shut down, we'll be able to convert all those skills that you've had in the past and make them healthcare-oriented. And that'll be a big leap because some of you guys have, how many of you guys have been laid off by some big company in the past few years? Where'd you work? Yeah, so folks like Country Coach, they've been hanging paneling and finishing coaches and painting. How does that translate to healthcare? And so we'll make his job experience that he has make him look perfectly suited for healthcare. And we'll do that with all of you who have other work history. And I'll teach you how to convert those things, make them into transferable skills. So this is about a 50-50 split in this course. I won't go through the outcomes. You guys can see those there. All of my policies and procedures are based on COPS, which is the college's online policy and procedure manual, which can be found online at the LCC website. Some pretty basic things that everybody else is going to have. Weather, it's your responsibility to watch the weather and be safe coming to school. If it takes an extra 30 minutes, then build in those 30 minutes. I do keep attendance in this class, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. You're either here or you're not. So do make accommodations for weather and be safe about it. Make the decisions that are right for you. On professionalism, I expect that everybody's cell phone is turned to vibrate, no sound whatsoever. But I do understand that we're all adults. We've got pets, kids, partners, family that we need to keep track of, business going on. Some of people are buying homes. All sorts of stuff is happening. I am totally cool with somebody's phone sitting on their desk. I'm a phone. See? All right. Am I back with you, Florence and Cottage Grove? Can you guys hear me again?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I do respect the fact that we're all grown-ups and we have lives outside of school, and sometimes they do leak over into school. Do make your appointments and things around school, but, you know, if the mortgage lender's going to call or if your kid's going to say they've just fallen on the playground and busted their lip, you need to be able to get those calls. So if you think that you're going to get some kind of call like that, make sure your cell phone is out on your desk, easy to grab, and completely set to silent vibrate, and then just pick it up, bust out the back of the class, and take care of what you have to take care of. You'll find as the term goes on, I'm a little irreverent. I say things that make you laugh and push boundaries on occasion. That is my brand of professionalism. I have a balance. If I ever upset you or say anything that bothers you, I'd hope that you'd come straight to me, or if you're uncomfortable saying something to my face, that you send me an email. I do, I'm funny. I say things sometimes. So you just have to let me know if I hurt your feelings, because the very last thing I want to do is upset any one of you with something that I've said that was careless. So let me know. But I do expect you guys to listen to each other openly, no arguing, respect other people's opinions. If you're struggling with another classmate and their professionalism in your mind's eye, let me know and I'll work with you and work with that student. The last thing on professionalism is typically when I have a concern with an individual student about their professionalism, I'm going to send you an email. It's called a professionalism report, and it is very black and white and pokey and prickly, because I tell you exactly what I saw that looked unprofessional, and then I tell you exactly what I expect you to do before I kick you out of my class, okay? So I'm real black and white, and it might feel a little uncomfortable when you get it, but I won't tell you how loud you were. I'll tell you simply that you were too loud, or that your behavior was inappropriate. I won't describe it with adjectives and stuff. So be prepared for those if you ever get one. But what those are intended to do is open a dialogue. You can either push back and say, no, I was not, or I don't see it that way, or we then have a document that you can take to a dean or somebody else in the division to help you work through that if you're not comfortable working through that with me. On integrity, I have a zero tolerance policy for academic dishonesty. That means cheating, plagiarism, copying, any of those things. If you are found to have cheated or plagiarized in any way, shape, or form, I will immediately fail you from the course, dismiss you from the remainder of the term, and turn you in to the college themselves for them to continue whatever disciplinary actions they will do. I've had students actually prohibited from taking further classes at LCC for their egregious behavior. So just know it's pretty serious. I don't brook cheating of any kind. As far as disruption, we've already talked about the cell phones. Lots of times I have students who have back injuries. I have athletes. I have people who can't hold their water. I have people who are hungry. We're grown-ups. If you need to do something, get up quietly and go do it. Don't ask me. If you need to stand in the back of this classroom and stretch or rock because your back or your legs are bothering you, knock yourself out. Just simply don't disrupt your classmates, okay? If you don't disrupt me, you don't disrupt your classmates, I don't care if you're standing in the back of the room with a furry green hat on. Just take care of yourselves and try and enjoy the class as much as possible. I will try and take a break about halfway through this class because it is almost 2 hours. Sometimes I'll be real good about it, other times I won't. But I've got the class set up where we're typically doing lecture the first half of class, review the first half of class and lecture the second half of class. So there's an opportunity there for a break. But again, you got to go to the bathroom. You need to get a cup of coffee. That's great. I don't believe the break will be long enough for smokers. This class is not long enough for me to take a big enough break to give you time to go out to the smoking shelter and grab a cig. But if you're one of those who needs it, you're the one who's missing class, it's your education, that'll be your decision. I won't judge one way or the other. That's your business. As for teaching methods, this is a hybrid course. Has anybody taken a hybrid course yet? Probably, actually, most of you have. A hybrid course simply means that I'm going to combine
You're off again.
No input has been detected.
We know. Dean.
You're back now.
We can hear you.
Good. Dean, at the break, can we rebuild this so I'm built in first to see if that will stop? Because it keeps doing it. I know he can hear me. All right. That just simply means that we are going to have a mix of in-class lecture. You're going to have reading, all your reading materials, in fact, for this class are on class.
No input has been detected.
On week 10, when there is no traditional class, we will have a learning opportunity, and that will be your mock interviews. So in addition to your resume portfolios, I now just let the cat out of the bag, that there are also mock interviews that will happen at the end. So you'll have that experience looking for a professional job. As far as methods of evaluation, I use Moodle quizzes, the Moodle quiz module to build your assignments. Some things are automatically graded, some are not. My grades are real straightforward. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 90 is a B, so on and so forth. There's no creative math. I do not round up or round down. Wherever you're at, that's what your score is, okay? As far as attendance go, like I said, I do give points for attendance. I'm like a really super cheap employer. I'll pay you wages for being here. And when you're not here, I do not have a vacation plan. We do not have sick leave in this organization. So if you're gone, you're gone. There will be, I think there's one opportunity for some extra credit to help offset those occasional days off. But trust me, attendance will not destroy your grade typically. It may drop you one whole letter grade, but it won't in most cases kick you out. But overall, over the course, your attendance is worth 100 points. Let's see. Because this is a hybrid class, I do a lot of communication via Moodle. When I show you our Moodle web page, over in the right-hand corner near the top is where messages are posted and where latest news or the news forum is. Every week, you will get at least one, sometimes 2 to 3 emails with detailed instructions telling you what you need to do, okay? I use at a minimum, I use 14-point font. In this class, it's green to highlight, it's bold and italic. I do everything I can to make things easy for you as a student. If you're a skimmer or if you're a detailed reader, you should be able to figure out what you need to. But it is your responsibility to read those. Don't disregard them because you think you're ahead or you think you know something. Those communications are really important. I'll have explanations, additional instructions, clarifications, stops, different things like that. The big thing for you guys as students, I'll always tell you that I'm writing for your IHR class, because some of you are also taking AMOP with me, right? Administrative Medical Office Procedures. I will always tell you when I communicate with you which class I'm talking about. So I expect the same thing out of you. And I need you to, in the first line of every correspondence, whether it's a subject line or the first, you do it in the body of the letter, I don't care where, I need to know that you guys are in IHR and then whatever your CRN number is so that I can distinguish my Florence and Cottage Grove students from my main campus students. After this first week, if you do not include that information, I will not respond to your correspondence, okay? I'll give you reminders all week long. I'll even send you a Moodle message later this week that says, from here on out, if it's not there, I will not respond, okay? And that's written in your syllabus. The other thing I ask as far as communication goes is that you're specific. If you write me and say, I'm stuck on the homework and I can't get it, well, nice, but I need to know what week you're talking about, which assignment, what problem number, and what is actually your problem. That the answers don't make sense, that you need some help or guidance. You have to be specific, okay? Because if not, we're going to have some hang time while I send you back an email that says, what problem are you talking about, all right? So communication is really important since we do so much of it electronically. And that's detailed out in the syllabus. It's detailed out in your introduction. I say it many places over and over again. As far as technology goes, I'm currently a student at Western Nebraska myself, so I know exactly what you guys are going through if you are new to Moodle. They have Blackboard. They have something I've never seen before. It's insane making to try and figure out the technology. So I wanted to give you a few tips in the syllabus so that there was no doubt, give you as much opportunity for success as possible. The big thing with Moodle is use Firefox. Do not use any other, don't use Google Chrome, don't use, what's the other one? Yeah, Internet Explorer. Don't use anything but Firefox. That is a recommendation from the technology folks here. That's not my doing. Okay, so first off, start with that. There's some step-by-step tips here that talk about some steps you should take before you begin any online assignment. For instance, clearing your cache, making sure there's no things perking around in memory. You know, your kids might have been on addictinggames.com before you sit down, or you might have been on addictinggames.com. Make sure your cache is cleared so there's no garbage cluttering up your internet. I always recommend that you, after you do that, that you actually shut your computer completely down, not do a restart, but shut it down, and then reboot your computer completely, okay? Don't open any other software. Don't open Microsoft Word. Don't open other windows inside of Firefox. Just open one single window and attack Moodle. Turn off, make sure your pop-up blockers are off, and you should avoid 99% of your problems if you just take these steps. They appear here, and they also appear in that article called Introduction, the big one that says, before you do anything, read this. So it's a couple of places if you forget. Because I do put things in writing so carefully, I will direct you back to those before I'll answer questions a lot of times. One of the things that people have already been having concerns about is, I'm not sure if my homework uploaded, or I got the dash and not the score, and I'm freaking out. Did it actually upload? I haven't graded a thing yet. So if you guys have uploaded your profile photos, I haven't graded those yet. But because it was an upload, you're going to have a dash. This section of the syllabus talks in detail about what to expect for assignments that Moodle grades and what to expect for assignments where I have to grade them, which are typically uploads. There are some of your assignments that in Moodle will grade partially, and then there are some of those questions that I have to grade manually. So you might get a partial score and think, geez, I didn't just flunk that. No, your instructor probably has some manual grading left to do. And I try to write it at the beginning of every one of those assignments. This assignment may require manual grading. But if you're ever concerned and you followed through these steps to make sure that something's uploaded or to make sure that you have a score and you're still freaking out, send me a really good communication and let me know, and I'll do what I can to put your heart to rest, because I know how stressful it is this first week. You guys should have seen me. I was a total nutbag the first day with Western Nebraska because I did not get their system, and everything ended up being right in front of my face. It was kind of embarrassing, doing exactly what I see my own students do. If you do run into a problem where something didn't upload, you got to keep trying to upload it. It's just that simple. And I'm a technical technically uneducated person. I only know what I know by trial and error myself. So if you guys get into a big technical problem, you'll need to contact the folks at the student help desk. I am pretty much useless at helping you outside of some of the basics that I know. So that's fairly unfortunate. But if you let me know within 24 hours of the error occurring, because I have an activity log that shows me where you've been and what you've been touching and how long you've been in it, if you let me know within 24 hours, even if we pass a deadline, I can make extensions. I will not penalize you for you having apparently completed your work and then the technology got weird on you, okay? The last thing is, as a hybrid class, it says on the front of our Moodle page, it says in the syllabus, it requires you to have a computer that functions and high-speed internet, okay? If your computer crashes, if you spill a soda, if the cat chews the cords, not my fault, not my responsibility, and no extensions will be granted for technological difficulties like those. You need to have a solid backup plan. Your girlfriend's house, your public library, Kinko's has where you can pay for it. A couple terms ago, I actually went to Hawaii and graded from a Kinko's in Hawaii just so that I could go before everybody's finals were done. So for I think I spent like $11 and I spent 4 or 5 hours in a Kinko's using their internet connection. So even if you had to, there's pay. The best alternative is to go to your mom or your dad's or your cousin or your sister's house and play Starving Student and maybe get a free meal out of it or be able to do your laundry while you're there too. So, but have a backup plan because Oak Ridge folks, people who live in outlying areas, I don't care if something doesn't work. You have to have a backup plan, okay? As far as exams and quizzes go, they will all be online for you guys. So that means you can take them at your convenience. They are always timed, and they are built to fill that time. It's very, very, very difficult to do them open book. So, but that means you can take them at home with a beer, a bowl of popcorn, the cat on your lap, whatever, whatever works for you. You could take them in the middle of the night. You can take them bright and early in the morning around your work schedules. So you should find that very helpful. Our final actually is open for 2.5 days. It opens Sunday, December the 12th at 6 a.m. and stays open until Tuesday, December 4th at noon. So you guys will be able to work that around jobs and families and things like that. And it's an hour and a half, so you can pick an hour and a half any time in there, and it's a one-shot deal, and you'll be able to do that. Assignments for this course are obviously all on Moodle as well. You'll see those when we look at Moodle here in just a little bit. I'm gonna sit down and open up Moodle and walk you through in case any of you haven't had the opportunity to look at the page and find some things. Assignments are due Tuesday at 9 a.m. every week unless I specify otherwise. And you'll see in there I'm very clear about things being due. There are no late exams under any circumstances, and there is no late homework without a written medical excuse. Okay? Written medical excuses. Perfect segue. You can have a reasonable extension for homework assignments if you have a written medical excuse. Okay? That means you are completely medically incapacitated and a physician or other healthcare practitioner agrees that you are incapable of doing your work. So you need to send me a written note either on their prescription pad or they can send me an email directly from their office. I do not want to know what is wrong with you. Okay? That's your personal business. I don't want to know what your ailment is. What I want to know is your dates of confinement. That'll determine how much longer you get for your homework. So I was completely unable to do my job as a student from Tuesday to Thursday. So then I will give you a reasonable extension beyond those times. Okay? but please ask them not to divulge your information. If they give you a written excuse, you need to scan it in and send it to me in an email. I want electronic proof so that we can use that proof later on if there ever comes a question about that. Extra credit in the class, I do occasionally assign extra credit, but never to an individual student because you ask for it, only to the class as a whole. No one student is going to get an unfair break because they've chose or had situations that have not allowed them to do their work, and now they're going to back it up with extra credit. It doesn't work that way. You're either here for the material or you're not. I'm either going to give you all the same opportunity to succeed and have extra points, or I'm not, okay? So please don't ask me for extra credit. It just doesn't exist. Even if you have a really super sad story, it still doesn't exist, okay? Our mock interviews will be conducted during week 10.
We lost you.
No input has been detected.
Okay, back to the mock interviews. November 27th from 8 a.m. until 1:30, I think. There are appointment slots currently open, and you can sign up as early as week 1 for that appointment later on. Be mindful, there are limited number of spots.
We can't hear you. What the heck?
No input has been detected.
So if you have a really particular schedule that you need to work around, get on there today or tomorrow and book yourself an appointment. Mock interviews are just like a real-world interview. You will be expected to come in interview clothes with a brand new resume portfolio. How fortunate for you, I'm going to teach you how to do that. It's just like a real-world interview. I actually audio record it so that you can have a copy of it later on to either hear my feedback, either to take notes from or to use to whip me with for saying mean things. It's up to you.
I have a question.
Nope, I just do it by myself. It got too tough to get other staff to help me, so I do it by myself, and hence that's why we record it so you can have it later on, you know, to either say, well, she said mean things, was impolite, or, geez, I want to use that for reference. Yeah, Florence, what can I do for you?
For us in Florence for the mock interviews, do we need to go to Eugene to do this?
Typically for the students in Florence, I try to arrange, there's usually one staff member who goes over for the MOA program who is willing to do those mock interviews. I do not.
We can't hear you.
Okay, you're back.
No.
No, never mind.
We can't hear you, sorry.
David? His class is usually like this.
Okay, you're back.
No, that was Cottage Grove.
Never mind.
As for your resume portfolios, we will start those this week. You have 10 weeks of paced instruction, lectures, and assignments. These will not be accepted late under any circumstances, including letters of accommodation, because we will work on these together, both at your own home, on your own time, and in class. And so there will be no excuse for your resume portfolios to be done. I do recommend that you get them done. They're 200 points when they are completed. Letters of accommodation. I've already talked about disability resources. What can I do for you guys?
Can we ask a question on the mock interviews?
Yes.
The calendar says 9 o'clock to 1:30, and the website says...
I've changed the wiki. I haven't changed my calendar yet. Thanks for pointing that out. I'll get it corrected for you guys, okay?
So is it 8
Yeah, I have
o'clock?
some as early as 8 a.m. in the wiki because I decided 9 a.m. wasn't quite long enough for how big my class was this term. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. You guys in Florence and Cottage Grove really have to speak up. I'm having one of your classmates can hear you only because she's sitting next to the monitor. I need you guys to really speak up when you do, please.
We're yelling and you still can't hear us.
You're what?
Yelling.
We're yelling and waving our arms and you still can't see us or hear us.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll try. Yeah. Yeah, but we get feedback sometimes. So we'll see.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Letters of accommodation, I've already touched on those. Any of you have them, I welcome them. The class is designed to accommodate students with both physical and educational needs. Just let me know. Do not wait until the day before something because, in all honesty, I'm not obligated to help you if there's not ample time to make decisions. It's your responsibility to let me know that you need accommodation, so please do so. I can make just about anything happen. I have yet to find an accommodation that I can't accommodate. And I want to work with you and make sure that your experience is the same of every other student who does not have an accommodation. So please make sure you get a hold of me. If we ever get stuck, we'll call on the folks from Disability Resources. They are absolutely delightful, and they'll help us work through it if the class isn't able to, or I'm not able to figure out in my brain how to make it work. They come in and beat me with a small ball-peen hammer, and then I accommodate. Distance education, you guys will all turn your stuff online just like everybody else. So there will be no problems with you guys turning in homework. I don't think there's any assignments that any of us will do that require physically turning them in. It all happens online, so that should work really well for you guys. As far as the grading policy goes, I already touched on that. You get straight points, and it's a percentage of those points.
Question.
Yes.
I was wondering about the November 20th, the interview outfit due.
Yes.
But there's no regular class.
Right.
So we just need to bring it up to your office?
No, actually what that assignment is, well, you actually take a photograph of it with your cell phone, with a camera, pull pictures off of the internet to show me what you're wearing. I'll talk about that more than when it happens, but it's a simple upload of a photograph. You can model your clothes you can do the Vanna White thing, or you can lay them out on your bed or hang them on the back of your closet door, whatever floats your boat. Take a picture, and that's that assignment.
Okay.
I want to see if you want feedback and if you want the points, you'll think ahead of time before your interview what you're going to wear to that interview, and you'll let me know. So, okay? And I'll talk to you guys. You'll notice that the week prior to that is the interview kit, and in that week I will talk to men and women about what's appropriate to wear, how to deal with clothing on a budget, because I know in every one of my classes there's always somebody who's cashing in pop cans just to get gas to get to school. So I'll talk to you about everything, for what do you do if you're overweight, what do you do if you don't have anything. I'll talk to you about all of it. You will not go unprepared into anything in this class. I will not ask you to do anything that I haven't first taught you how to do. It'll be fair, okay? And if you ever don't get something or don't know, all you have to do is ask me, and I'll try and teach you in a different way so that you feel prepared. I'm not going to leave you hanging, okay? So back to the points, straight up points. I don't round. 100 to 90 is A. I do give pluses, but only for the top 1 percentile. And to get an A+, you do have to have more than 100%. It's not 99% as an A+. Guys, go take 5 minutes to stretch your legs, go potty, whatever it is that you need to do for just a few, if you'd like. I'm going to ask Dean to shut us down and open it back up so that I can get through the rest of this without interruption. You there, Dean? Hey, Dean, this is Alicia. I'm forcing a break right now because it keeps doing that thing. Will you shut it off and make it start with me to see if that'll... Oh, yeah, and it's irregularly paced, and I'm not touching any buttons, but basically this selection menu pops up that says user menu, and it's telling me things like to turn up the volume, click this, to become the moderator, click that, and it's asking me to punch numbers like I'm on a television.